Freezing is one word that might come into your mind when you hear Antarctica, and you're not wrong because, after all, it is the coldest place on Earth. But if you think that the temperature in Antarctica is the only thing that will make you feel chilly, here are 24 fun and interesting facts about Antarctica that you probably didn't know. 1. Antarctica is the only continent with no permanent residents or citizens. People living there, like scientists, only stay for around 3 to 6 months for research purposes. 2. There are no polar bears in Antarctica, only in the Arctic, because no bears resided or survived at the South Pole after Pangaea broke apart. 3. Most people staying in Antarctica are Christians, having more than 70% of the continent's population. Following that is a combination of atheists and people who chose not to disclose their religion. 4. The Drake Passage is a waterway in Antarctica that connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. This waterway is known for its violent storms and strong winds, claiming the lives of numerous sailors. It's named after Sir Francis Drake, an English explorer whose ships were used when the connection between both oceans was discovered. 5. Antarctica was part of Gondwana, a supercontinent that came before the Pangaea. The supercontinent included South America, Arabian Peninsula, Africa, Madagascar, India, and Australia. 6. The Greek word for Antarctica is Antarcticos, which means the opposite of the Arctic. 7. The Antarctic Desert is the largest in the world, double the size of the Sahara Desert. The polar environment is considered a polar desert since it rarely rains or snows there. 8. There's a part of Antarctica that looks like a blood waterfall. It's called Blood Falls, and the Taylor Glacier's trapped saltwater lake is responsible for it. The lake is rich in iron that turns red when it flows outside as it reacts with oxygen. 9. Due to the cold temperature, most plants, like trees or bushes, can't survive in Antarctica. But some exceptions are mosses, liverworts, and 2 native flowering plants, Antarctic hairgrass and Antarctic pearlwort. 10. South of Sanity is the only movie to be filmed entirely in Antarctica. It was a low-budget film released in 2012. The director of this unpopular yet historical film is Kirk Watson, a mountaineering expert who works at Halley Research Station. 11. There were 11 babies intentionally born in Antarctica because of Argentina and Chile's competition for a territorial claim. Both countries did it by sending pregnant women to their research stations. But, of course, their efforts went to waste due to the Antarctic Treaty. 12. Silvia Morella de Palma gave birth to Emilio Marcos Palma in 1978 at Esperanza Base, making Emilio the first person to be born in Antarctica. 13. Antarctica Day is celebrated every December 1st to commemorate the signing of the Antarctic Treaty. 14. The Antarctic Treaty was signed in 1959 by 12 countries in Washington, D.C. It's an agreement that the continent should only be used for peaceful purposes, forbidding the establishment of military bases and testing of military weapons, unless military equipment will be used for scientific research. 15. One of the agreements of the Antarctic Treaty System is to protect the Antarctic environment. This agreement prevents mining and leaving any waste on the continent. 16. There are 70 permanent research stations in Antarctica. The largest one is McMurdo Station, which has the capability of having thousands of residents. The U.S. built it in December 1955 for scientific research and the logistics hub of the U.S. Antarctic Program. 17 research stations in Antarctica have a wastewater treatment plant where poop and other wastewater flow, making it clean so treated water can be brought to the ocean. Solid wastes are sent back to the US through cargo ships. 18 The poop of Antarctic penguins is called guano. It contains high amounts of nitrous oxide, famously known as laughing gas due to its ability to create a euphoric effect when inhaled. 19 Doctors staying in Australian Antarctic research stations during winter are required to remove their appendixes. It's because there's only one doctor per station, and they can't afford to be in life-threatening situations wherein evacuation is unlikely. 20 Antarctic fishes have antifreeze proteins that make them survive Antarctica's freezing water. 21 Adolf Hitler sent an expedition to Antarctica to harvest whale oil, essential for making margarine and lubricating weapons. 22 Antarctica wasn't covered in ice for more than 100 million years. Paleontologists found fossils, including frogs, birds, and even dinosaurs discovered on the continent. 23 McMurdo Station used to have a small nuclear reactor called PM-3A from 1961 to 1972. Its nickname was Inuki Poo because of how often it malfunctioned and leaked. The US. The Navy shut it down in September 1972 due to its expensive maintenance and environmental impact. 24. There were 16,500 condoms sent to Antarctica in 2008. They're free of charge and can be seen in numerous bathrooms of McMurdo Station. Condoms were shipped to the research station to prevent pregnancy, as McMurdo Station's clinics have limited capabilities for handling pregnant women. This is also why a pregnancy test is required for a woman before going to Antarctica.